What makes a workout program effective? Watch this.
All right, our next caller is Garrett from Texas.
Garrett, what's happening?
Hey, how you doing, guys?
Good.
I just want to say thank you for having me on the show. You guys have been a big part of my fitness journey, and I really appreciate everything you're doing with your podcast and all the resources you have out there. So thanks for having me on.
Awesome.
Right on.
So my question is about basically evaluating your programming. And I asked this in light of, I love what you guys talk about all the time about fitness being a long time journey, like a lifelong deal. And trying to avoid the look how shredded I got in 90 days. So what are the best metrics for evaluating your programming, especially when that programming is homemade or DIY, as well as evaluating your effort level, intentionality, and all those things around the programming that you've created?
What's your background when it comes to exercise programming?
So always homemade. I mean, I started in endurance sports in my 20s. I got up to 230 pounds of kind of Oreo squishy. Got into triathlon on a dare, loved it. But I think even you guys were talking about in a previous podcast about how when you do the caloric deficit plus a lot of cardio, when you stop, you kind of blow back up. And that's exactly what happened. As soon as I was done racing, I put all the weight back on, tried to figure it out. And then once I got into lifting and resistance training, it was really about watching your content, watching a couple other trainers, and just trying to piece together the different parts that I've seen and learned from you guys and trying to create my own programming.
Okay. And so this whole time, have you been training consistently, or was it on and off?
Yeah. So it depends on when you start. I started resistance training a year ago in March, and then 6 months in, got COVID, ended up on my bed for a week and then in the hospital for a week. And when I got home from being in the hospital, I think it was about a month before I could start training again. And I felt like I had lost everything. I mean, I went from what it felt like really good squat and deadlift to back to where I started back in a year ago. But since then, I am in 3 days a week. I don't miss unless I'm out of town, and I don't go out of town very much. I love to be in the gym. So no, I try to stay as consistent as I can.
Now, are you structuring these workouts to be total body workouts, or are you doing kind of like a split routine you set up for yourself?
So I'm trying to follow along with what you guys talk about full body. So I'm in the gym 3 days a week. And I've split it so that I do basically a set A and a set B. So 2 days a week I'm doing this week I'm doing 2 days of set A, 1 day of set B, and then next week it'll flip. And then I'm either doing deadlift or squat on each one of those. So set A is squat, set B is deadlift. And then I have chest, biceps, lats with back, and calves and core on one day. And then the other day is chest, shoulders, back, calves, and core. So that's the breakout for the two different programs.
Two things here, Garrett. One, there's a lot of really, really good triathlon type programming out there, strength training type programming out there written by experts. And with your background, you know a little bit about kind of how your body feels, but I wouldn't say that you would be this isn't your job, is what I'm trying to say. So there's a lot of value in investing in well-written programming, and it's very inexpensive. It's one of the least expensive investments you can make. The second thing is, your question was, how do I know if I'm progressing? I mean, you have objective metrics. Am I stronger? Do I have better performance? Do I feel better? How do my joints feel? You got to consider all of that, and don't always look at performance as the way to see if you're improving, because at some point performance can't continue to improve, right? You're only going to get so fast. You're only going to get so strong. So at that point is going to be based off of how you feel, and is it improving the quality of your life right now, right? Is the quality of life improving for me in terms of energy and how I feel? And that's going to kind of direct you in the right way. But I would go with a well-programmed workout, and I'm going to send you one. I'm going to send you MAPS Performance just based off your goals. I think that would probably be the best thing to follow at the moment.
Just out of curiosity, how long have you been listening to the program, Garrett?
Man, when I started lifting, I didn't know anything. I went to the gym
and
I put a squat rack on. I was like,
how long have you been listening to the podcast?
Oh, since I started, because I knew I didn't know anything. I was like, I don't know how to do this. So I found you guys, and I've been in for at least a year. Yeah.
Oh, okay. And just out of curiosity, how come you haven't started a MAPS program?
Honestly, I'm a teacher with kids.
Okay.
So I've had to kind of do everything DIY just because.
Cool. Okay, I get it. I mean, that's fine. I was really curious because I could tell. I mean, obviously, you have respect for what we talk about and trust in our advice.
Yeah, and I've looked at your programs, and it's always one of those like, man, when I can, that's what I want to do.
Okay.
Yeah, no, we'll send one right over to you, Garrett.
Thank you.
I'll send you MAPS Performance. I think that one's going to help you. And then what it'll do, because of its structure, you'll follow it and you'll learn more about how your body feels, and then you'll be able to modify from there, you know?
That's awesome.
Versus starting from scratch on your own.
Yeah, because it's kind of hard to dive in and like give you all the specifics of what, why we did things a certain way. Like it's better for you to go through it and then come back and have questions and figure out how to modify it so it specifically tailors more towards your goals.
Yeah, why don't we do this too? Doug, why don't you hook them up with the forum too? So I'm going to hook you up with a forum, Garrett. That way you can actually get in with the community. We're in there, and so as you go through this process, not only can you share your journey and ask questions in there, we can get to you, or other people that are going through the same thing can do the same thing.
That's awesome. And that's the hardest part. Is like trying to connect with people and like, how do you do this? So I really appreciate it.
You're going to love the community in there, man.
All right, Garrett. Thanks for calling in.
Hey, thanks, guys. Y'all have an awesome day.
Yeah, no problem.
Right on.
Yeah, it's interesting because I'm not saying this is Garrett, right? And he's got kids, and he said he's a teacher, and obviously that's somewhat challenging. It's very interesting the value people place on workout programming versus what they would place on, let's say,
supplements.
Yeah, 2 or 3 jugs of protein.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
For the price of probably 2 jugs of protein powder, which would last you 60 days, you could get a well-programmed workout. Now the problem is there's a lot of free workouts out there that are garbage. There's a lot of exercises you could do. There's a lot of different ways you could sweat and get sore.
Which is what created sort of that devaluation, I think, of how people perceive fitness programs.
Yeah, it would be like people giving away dirt with like 2 amino acids in it and be like, it's free, it's protein. You're like, I don't need to buy protein because I got all this free protein. It's like, well, it's not really the same thing.
Yeah.
One of the best investments you can make is in a well-programmed workout. And athletes know this. There's a reason why they hire coaches and they hire trainers and they work with strength coaches. It makes a huge difference, but we place way more value on things that are not worth even close to the same value. I mean, if I looked at workout and diet, there isn't a single supplement or combination of supplements that would even come close to the value of what that can do. So, and I want people to consider that because I know how easy it is. It would be so easy for me on the podcast right now to sell a fat burner for $100. I could sell a fat burner. I could sell more fat burners for $100 than I can sell a 3-month well-programmed workout for $100.
Yeah.
And that's just that's just part
Promise
of
in a pill.
The fitness industry has really done a crappy job of placing more value on these profitable things. And
I think Justin hit it on the head. I think that there's a lot of free programs out there. There's not a lot of free fat burners out there. There's not a lot of free protein powder out there. So it's a hard compare. I get where you're comparing it, and you're 100% right. But Justin's point is the reason why. It's because if you don't know, you don't know the difference between good programming, great programming, and dog shit programming.
How many people have told you just exercise?
It's what we talk about all the time. A majority of people, even people who've been working out for a real long time, that measure an effective workout incorrectly.
Yeah, sore and I sweat.
How sore am I? Yeah. How sweaty did I get? Like, no. It's like, so if that's how most people measure a good workout, and there's tons of free workouts that make you sweat and sore on the internet, it's hard to make that transition. I mean, part of the podcast is educating people on that. It's not that simple, And I love when you always bring the analogy of like writing code for something. It's like, you can put a bunch of random numbers and shit together. It doesn't mean you got a fucking program.
Yeah. Pixelated head. That's all weird.
Yeah, no, it's one of the best investments you can make. The best investment you could ever make is hiring an actual coach. There's nothing better than that. A good one. The next step is to get yourself a well-programmed workout. And once you do it, what's funny too, and it's just a little business, just a little openness on the business. When people get one of our programs, the odds that they'll get another one, what is that, Adam? It's like
lifetime value is 3x that. So most people buy 3 to 4 programs.
Yeah, why? Right? They follow one, like, oh my gosh, what? This is crazy. I can't believe how much
this
different
is actually effective.
That's right. Yeah. So that's the big difference right there. Look, if you like the show, you'll love mindpumpfree.com. We got a lot of free content there, free guides. go to mindpumpfree.com and download some free guides to help you with your fitness and health goals. You can also find all of us on social media. So Justin is on Instagram at mindpumpjustin. Adam is on Instagram at mindpumpadim, and you can find me on Twitter at mindpumpsal.